Makes them stay focused in school. They have regiments, they have routines. She loves them. She truly loves them, and she is honored to raise them.
They are, I mean, they're phenomenal kids.
As for Crystal, Leek hopes she'll be remembered more as a loving mom than an up-by-the-bootstraps survivor of awful abuse.
She wanted a family. She wanted that family that she never had. She wanted children. She wanted to love something unconditionally and have somebody love her unconditionally.
I love you.
And she was still looking for that love, right until the hours before the winds began howling and the waters rose.
That's all for this edition of Dateline. We'll see you again Friday at 9, 8 Central. And of course, I'll see you each weeknight for NBC Nightly News. I'm Lester Holt. For all of us at NBC News, good night.
Live from Rhinelander, this is News Watch 12 Weekends, the Northwoods' best news. With Jake Force, meteorologist Conrad Sapinski, and Drew Shelley with sports. News from where you live starts now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jake Force. This is expected to be a critical week for House Speaker Mike Johnson as he faces a vote for his ousting brought by Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia as she plans to introduce a resolution calling for Johnson's ouster. She is unhappy Johnson pushed through a foreign aid package last month that helps Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan, and says Johnson has compromised too much with Democrats. It is unclear how many Republican members will side with her, and many Republicans oppose the push to oust Johnson and do not want to see the conference devolve into bitter infighting like it did after former Speaker Kevin McCarthy was ousted in a historic and unprecedented vote last year. Meantime, House Democratic leaders say they will vote to kill Greene's plan to try to keep Johnson as Speaker. The Secret Service says a man died after crashing into a White House exterior barrier Saturday night. The crash happened shortly before 10:30 p.m., and officials said the car was traveling at a high rate of speed when it collided with the eastern side of the White House exterior barrier. Security protocols were implemented and the vehicle was cleared. However, police said there was no threat to the White House or the White House complex, and officials said the driver was pronounced dead at the scene. His name and age have not been released, and an investigation is ongoing. Former President Donald Trump compared the Biden administration to the Gestapo in remarks at a private closed-door donor retreat on Saturday afternoon. Trump referenced the Nazi secret police force as he was railing against the legal troubles he is facing, saying, quote, "These people are running a Gestapo administration," unquote. That's according to the audio of the luncheon provided to NBC News. Trump goes on to say, quote, "And it's the only thing they have, and it's the only way they're going to win in their opinion," unquote. The former president adding that he does not let his legal troubles bother him too much. Trump made the remarks at his Mar-a-Lago club as hundreds of donors gathered for Republican National Committee's spring retreat. Well, Conrad, it was a pretty nice day out there once again today.
Yeah, temperatures back in those upper 60s, kind of like back in Boston,
feeling good. Yeah,
exactly.
Like I was home
like
for the summer,
East Coast, of course, right? It's May, of course, we should be warming up, but maybe not quite as warm as what we've been today. 68 degrees here in town, let's go. How exciting is that? Almost around 70. A couple of spots did hit 70 overall, though most of the state, pretty much from mid-60s to around 70 degrees, closer to the Wapaka area. Of course, few degrees above average, right? We should be at around 62 degrees. We were above that. Let's go, right? Tomorrow, once again, it's going to be a warm day. Not quite record-breaking here, right? We're not talking 80s or 90s. I mean, I personally would not want that yet. It's not even June. So, warm temperatures making their way all the way up north. Take a look at Canada. Southern parts of Canada still in the 50s and 60s right now. That is not normal for this time of year. Overall, though, just a few passing clouds here and there. We saw lots of sunshine earlier today, and then we will continue to see just a few passing clouds overnight as low temperatures hover near average, right on the money at 36 degrees. Jake?
Thanks, Conrad. Another round of storms today is leading more flooding in southeast Texas. This was the scene at a gas station parking lot near the West Fork of the San Jacinto River, which crested at nearly 59 feet on Saturday. Localized heavy rainfall and excessive runoff is creating rising water in a number of other rivers, creeks, and streams. And the National Weather Service says they could remain swollen for days or possibly weeks. A flood watch remains in place through this evening. Additionally, Texas game wardens have joined emergency service in rescue efforts. The Wisconsin Department of Justice released new information today regarding the shooting near the Mount Horeb Middle School. According to the DOJ, a witness called 911 on Wednesday at 11:11 a.m. to report someone heading toward the middle school with what seemed to be a long gun. Officers with the Mount Horeb Police Department responded and found the person east of the main entrance to the school. DOJ officials say the suspect was told to drop the weapon, but allegedly did not comply with the officers' demands. Officers then opened fire, fatally shooting the suspect. The suspect died on the scene, and the weapon retrieved was found to be a Ruger 177 caliber pellet rifle. Fortunately, no one else was hurt during the incident. A Minnesota man is dead after authorities say he approached officers with a knife Saturday afternoon. According to the Carver County Sheriff's Office, 2 deputies responded to a 911 call in the town of Cahanson for reports of a domestic-related incident. The deputies were met by a woman outside of her home when a man emerged from the residence wielding a knife and approached the deputies. Authorities say the deputies gave vocal commands for the man to drop the knife before they both fired their guns, striking him several times. The suspect was transported to the hospital with unknown injuries. The 2 deputies are on leave per Sheriff's Office policy while the investigation continues. Colleges and universities are holding graduation ceremonies this weekend as pro-Palestinian protests continue on campuses across the U.S., and police are cracking down at several universities and clearing out encampments just in time for commencements. Rick Damigella has the latest.
This weekend saw universities across America hold graduation ceremonies as well as arrests in the ongoing pro-Palestinian campus protests. In Los Angeles, police cleared out a protest encampment at USC, but did not make any arrests Sunday morning, according to the school. The university has called off its main commencement ceremony, citing what the school says are security concerns.
The campus has really been on edge for the last couple days, especially with a email that was sent out by President Carol Folt last night expressing that the university was committed to holding commencement, that while it supported free speech, it also had limits.
At the University of Michigan, banners with opposing messages flew overhead, and some protesters were removed during the school's main graduation ceremony on Saturday. At the University of Virginia, police arrested over 24 people after they took down tents and cleared out protesters Saturday.
There has been gas that has been sprayed. We don't know if that is tear gas, but you can see that there's been gas that has been sprayed as they are moving in, and there is fighting in between them.
Former Republican Senator Ben Sasse, who is now the University of Florida president, called for school officials nationwide to, quote, step up and mind their own shops.
You don't get to take over the whole university. People don't get to spit at cops. You don't get to barricade yourselves in buildings. You don't get to disrupt somebody else's commencement.
I'm Rick Damigella reporting.
The Forest County Potawatomi held a special walk of awareness today. We'll learn more about it after Weather with Conrad when we return here on Newswatch 12.
Come to Carpet City Flooring Center's biggest sale and get free carpet installation. That's right, free carpet installation for one room or the entire house. Only at Carpet City Flooring Center's biggest sale.
Our prices will floor you. The sweetest place in town, the country store of Eagle River, is known for its quality candy. Made the old-fashioned way, slow-cooked in large copper kettles, then the candy is cooled on marble tables. Embrace the sweet aroma of your favorite candies: chocolates, fudge, brittle, turtles, snappers, almond bark, taffy, and hard candies. Don't forget to make a stop for the best hand-dipped ice cream around. Treat yourself at the country store of Eagle River.
Now at Menards, get an 11% rebate on everything for your next project. Duramax vinyl storage sheds provide plenty of storage space for all your yard work equipment. They're built to last with all-weather, maintenance-free vinyl. This 7x7 Duramax shed is just $649.99 after rebate. Build outdoor projects that last with our huge in-stock selection of quality AC2 pressure-treated lumber and decking. Load up easily using our drive-through lumber yard.
Save big money at Menards.
Always dry scoop before you run. Listen to me. The hot dog diet got me shredded.
It's time we listen to science. One A Day is formulated with key nutrients to support whole body health. One A Day, science that matters.
Hey there, I'm Lance Bass, and this is Chip. And if you're like me, your pets mean the world to you. And if disaster strikes, saving them is a priority. Learn how to keep your best friends safe at AmericanHumane.org.
Come to Carpet City Flooring Center's biggest sale ever and save $300, $600, or even $1,000 on your hard surface flooring purchase. Only at Carpet City Flooring Center's biggest sale.
Our prices will floor you.
And just like that, we are back. What a good-looking weekend, right? Especially out there for today. Temperatures near 70. I saw a whole bunch of boats on the water. Great call. Now, we are cooling off, of course, right? Mid-40s in Tomahawk. We do have some mid-50s here in town, so a big difference just around 15 miles south. And then, of course, down by Wausau, Mosinee, Stevens Point, still in the mid-50s. Check out Shawano, 60 degrees, and it is past 10 p.m. Way, way, way above average temperatures all over the state. We're going to continue to see well above average temperatures for tomorrow. Check this out. Another beautiful day. Temperatures around 70, a bit cooler for Tuesday, right back up for Wednesday. Kind of like a roller coaster ride down on Thursday, and then we're pretty much going to stick around near average by the end of this week and by next weekend. Finally, right? 60s will be back once again. Now, pretty active weather pattern the last few weeks. We've gone over 8 inches of rain the last 8.5 weeks. That is more than the previous 5 months of winter, right? It was just such a dry winter. Now, we are, of course, done with winter, right? Not quite done with winter in the west. Still a little bit of snow in the mountainous areas, but this is mainly higher in elevation. Of course, we are in May, so things will continue to warm up all over the country. For us, though, we're not talking any rain anytime soon. We're just seeing a few passing clouds here and there, and that will be continuing into those overnight hours, so a pretty good-looking night tonight. A little bit cool, but hey, not looking too bad. Then rain is back in the forecast. This is going to be Tuesday. By the afternoon hours, line of showers, possibly even some thunderstorms embedded. See these yellow colors? That does show some thunderstorms possibly will be back Tuesday afternoon, though. It doesn't look like it's going to be anything severe, but definitely something to mention here in the Northwoods. By Wednesday, a couple of sprinkles here and there, and then possibly by Thursday morning, we'll have a few lingering sprinkles as well. Now, rainfall-wise, though, we're potentially looking at around 1 inch of rain here in town. This is the next 7 days, right? Right up into the UP, these green colors indicating a little bit less rain, possibly 1/4 of an inch, probably closer to 1/2 inch. And then look at this bullseye. You see those colors right down there? Those purple colors indicating possibly even up to 2 inches of rain in some spots, embedded in some of those heavier storms rolling on in. Now, the winds are pretty calm, right? All day they've been pretty calm. 0 in Tomahawk, 0 in Merrill, Wausau. Guess what? You're at 0 miles an hour as well. Here in town, though, 6 miles an hour, so still a light breeze, gusts around 10 to 15 at times, but that will be continuing into the overnight hours. And then take a look at this. By Tuesday morning into the afternoon hours, we are looking at widespread winds around 25, even up to 35 miles an hour at times, gusting throughout the day. For tonight, though, mostly clear skies, temperatures around 36 degrees, pretty calm night, a little bit chilly at that. Our 7-day outlook brought to you by Northwoods Furniture and Mattress does show showers and thunderstorms on Tuesday, a little bit of showers Wednesday and Thursday. Jake?
Thanks, Conrad. During Israel's Holocaust Remembrance Day in Jerusalem, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he would defend Israel from enemies bent on their destruction. The annual Holocaust ceremony pays tribute to the 6 million Jews killed by Nazis during the Second World War. On Monday, Israel will come to a standstill as a 2-minute siren will be heard across the country to remember the 6 million Jews who died in the Holocaust. This year's event takes place as the war with Hamas rages in Gaza. An empty yellow seat at the ceremony represents Israeli hostages being held in Gaza. The war began on October 7th when Hamas launched a surprise deadly attack on southern Israel, killing 1,200 people and taking 252 hostages. Gaza's health ministry says more than 34,000 Palestinians have been killed in the war. Hamas is reportedly demanding an end to the war in exchange for freeing some 130 hostages who remain in Gaza, but Netanyahu has ruled that out. NBC News has learned CIA Director William Burns will travel to Israel tomorrow for continued ceasefire and hostage release talks. Burns was tapped earlier this year to help broker a deal to release the remaining hostages in Gaza. A source with knowledge of the matter tells NBC News that word of Burns' plans comes after holding discussions today in Doha, Qatar. Burns had previously been in Cairo, where Hamas stated that ceasefire discussions concluded without a deal after signs of progress. Israel's defense minister visiting with troops today claimed that Hamas is not serious about reaching a truce, and military actions could begin in Rafah and the Gaza Strip in the near future. Qatar, along with Egypt, have been key negotiators between Israel and Hamas. And Israel is shutting down Al Jazeera's local news network. Israeli police and officials were seen entering the network's broadcasting center at the Ambassador Hotel in Jerusalem Sunday. That was after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced the decision on social media. Netanyahu said the Qatari-based network is biased towards Hamas and that its reporters harmed Israel's security. The shutdown includes confiscating broadcast equipment and preventing correspondents from working. It is also removing the channel from cable and satellite platforms and blocking its websites. Network leaders called the move, quote, a criminal act and one that would cover up the killings and arrests of journalists. The Foreign Press Association in Israel described the decision as, quote, a dark day for democracy and, quote, a cause for concern for all supporters of a free press, unquote. The group Human Rights Watch also criticized the move. The Forest County Potawatomi held a walk to raise awareness for missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls today. Newswatch 12's Austin Carisu was there and has more.
The 7th annual Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls event took place in Crandon Sunday. The event is aimed towards raising awareness for Indigenous missing or murdered women and girls.
In our tribal communities across the country, including right here in Wisconsin, Indigenous women and girls are being exploited, trafficked, and subjected to violence at disproportionately high rates. Forest County Potawatomi hosts events such as the one today to bring awareness and help those understand that this is happening within our communities.
The event started with a pipe ceremony in the morning, followed by a walk which was done on Lake Avenue to the intersection of Highways 8 and 32 and back.
Today is about gathering as a community, tribal members, non-tribal members, just being together and being able to really bring that awareness here within Forest County, but also state and nationwide.
Van Zyl also recognized the local and state level officials that have been helping to raise awareness about missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls.
Important steps have been taken to address this issue. Wisconsin's Attorney General Josh Cull of the Wisconsin Justice Task Force on Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and our state's law enforcement have been working diligently to try to help assist with these issues. But it doesn't stop there. They still need the help from our communities, our smaller communities, in working towards the greater goal, which is providing justice for some of these families.
Reporting in Crandon, Austin Carisu, Newswatch 12.
Bipolar 1, I got help to push back.
I got help to push back.
We got help to push back with Lybalvi.
Once daily prescription Lybalvi is proven to treat manic or mixed episodes of bipolar 1 in adults to help you push back. Elderly patients with dementia have increased risk of death or stroke. Do not take Lybalvi if you are taking opioids or are in opioid withdrawal. The samidorphan in Lybalvi can cause severe opioid withdrawal that can lead to hospitalization or increased risk of life-threatening overdose. Get emergency help if you have trouble breathing, become very drowsy with slowed or shallow breathing, feel faint, very dizzy or confused, or have a fever, stiff muscle muscles, rash, swollen glands, or problems with your liver, kidneys, heart, or lungs. Other serious side effects may include high cholesterol, weight gain, potentially fatal high blood sugar, uncontrolled body movements which may be permanent, dizziness upon standing or falls.
Are you ready? Ask your doctor about Lybalvi. Looking for copay savings? Text copay to 45286.
Imagine trying to take on one of the big car companies. It's not easy. Yet this year, one local law firm finalized the largest compensatory verdict in state history against an automaker, over $38 million. And it was no fluke. That same firm has been holding big car companies accountable for faulty designs that cause injury for over 50 years. Because Wisconsinites know who to call when it's a must-win scenario. They call Habish, Habish & Rotier. National reputation, hometown service.
Take a trip on an elegant culinary journey with Chef Luke as he coaches Agnes, Jeff, and the audience to create elegant dishes that you can make at home. Join them on Up North at 4, June 3rd. Brought to you by Triggs.
Want to leave works all day so I can keep working my magic. Just want to leave. 12 hours of uninterrupted pain relief. Aleve. Who do you take it for? And for fast topical pain relief, try Aleve X.
We're back with new details about those missing American and Australian surfers in Mexico. Tonight, officials say they were probably victims of an attempted carjacking gone wrong. Here's Melissa Parra.
Tonight, new details on what Mexican officials are calling a robbery gone out of hand, just over a week after 3 tourists vanished on a surfing trip to Mexico. The local attorney general saying the 3 bodies discovered in a water well 50 feet deep are likely that of Jack Carter Rode, Callum Robinson, and his brother Jake. Saying this appears to be an attempted carjacking gone wrong, and there were signs the men tried to fight back and met a violent end. The medical examiner's office in Ensenada saying the cause of death for the bodies found, gunshot wounds to the head. Mexican investigators seen combing through evidence, finding blood, bullet casings, and drag marks near the men's campground and a white pickup truck badly burned. Police have arrested at least 3 people, including a woman who was found with what appears to be a cell phone belonging to one of the men, but police believe there may be others who were also involved.
It's tragic, very tragic.
James knew Callum Robinson.
Callum was a good guy, surfer. I knew he played rugby, and he's from Australia.
Callum and his brother Jake, both from Australia, love to surf, bringing their friend, American Jack Carter Rode, to Ensenada, a known surfer haven within the Mexican state of Baja California. Tonight, as the families wait for more answers, local authorities vowing to bring swift justice. Marissa Parra, NBC News.
The Milwaukee Brewers were in Chicago for their series finale with the Cubs today. Who would take Game 3 and win this weekend series? We'll find out after the break.
HCM is a serious heart condition affecting as many as 1 in 200 people. Like me.
And me. I was still short of breath on my beta blocker.
So I talked to my cardiologist.
And asked about treatment advances in HCM.
That talk made a real difference.
It gave me new hope.
Talk to your cardiologist today. Visit hcmrealtalk.com to learn more.
Get up to 60% off list prices
on hundreds of items at the huge memorial sale at Slumberland Furniture.
Incredible deals like this brand new Chase with storage that's also a sleeper, just $449. This complete wicker set with table, just $8.99. Or get a free ottoman with this sectional. Maybe you're looking for a comfy sofa? That's just $3.99. Up to 60% off list.
At the huge memorial sale at Slumberland Furniture. Do not miss this one.
It's Ford SUV season. Time to get out there and take on adventure in a whole new way. Start with great offers on Ford Bronco and Bronco Sport, all equipped with 4x4 capability and with the help of GOAT modes to go over any type of terrain. It's Ford SUV season. Let's get going. Lease a Bronco Sport for just $299 a month for 36 months. See your Wisconsin Ford dealer.
Breathing Claritin Clear is like...
Pretty girls walk like this.
Is he?
Claritin Clear? Yeah. Fast relief of your worst allergy symptoms, like nasal congestion. Live Claritin Clear.
The Northwoods provides plenty of beauty year-round, and the weather events that develop can produce some amazing photos. Submit yours online at WJFW's weather photo section on the website to share with the WJFW weather team.
The WIAA held their annual Scholar Athlete Banquet at the Century Golf Club in Stevens Point. The event honors 32 Wisconsin senior high school athletes who have been selected as finalists for the Scholar Athlete of the Year. All 32 athletes selected have obtained at least 4 varsity letters and have obtained at least a 3.5 grade point average during their time in high school. The area was well represented as some of the state's best student athletes gathered in Stevens Point.
The WIAA recognized 32 student athletes from across the state today as their 2024 Scholar Athletes. The area was well represented by the 32 students. Stevens Point senior Aloysius Franzen was honored to be recognized for the work he has put in on the field and in the classroom.
It's unreal, you know, the work and dedication that I put in not only academics and athletics is just beyond me. I don't even fully realize it. Sometimes you sort of get in your routine, you think it's a normal, so it's nice to be appreciated.
Northern Wisconsin was also represented at the event. Three Lakes senior Jared Kaufman, who was conference MVP on the football field and #1 in his high school class, was selected as a Scholar Athlete.
It's an honor to be one of the 32 high school senior boy and girl finalists for this, and it's representation of all of our hard work and dedication to both academics and athletics.
A couple of local cross-country state champions who will be teammates at the University of Wisconsin next season were on hand. DC Everett's Sarah Melodic and Northland Pines' Nora Gremben were selected as Scholar Athletes. For Melodic, she was proud that she could be recognized as more than an athlete.
I think it means something a lot more than just being an athlete, because a lot of the times we're categorized as being an athlete or being a runner, but I think the academic piece is another aspect that's very much overlooked.
For her future Badger teammate, Gremben was thrilled to be alongside her future collegiate runner. She was happy to represent Northern Wisconsin and hopes the pair can continue to do so in college.
Amazing, because it just shows how awesome this Northern Wisconsin is, and we're just grateful to represent Wisconsin in this recruiting class. We really have a lot to show and a lot to prove.
It was a special day for the student athletes who have excelled for the field and in the classroom. All 32 seniors recognized achieved at least 4 varsity letters and obtained a 3.5 or better GPA during their time in high school.
Brewers were back in action in Chicago as they played Game 3 of a weekend set against the Cubs. After splitting the first 2 games of the series, the Brewers were hoping to get out of the Windy City with a series win. Let's see how it went down in Chicago. Game was scoreless until the 5th, but the Cubs would strike Nico Horner. It's going to split the gap out in right center field, and that is going to do some damage. 2 runs come around to score, and the Cubs lead it 2-0. We move forward to the 6th inning. Dansby Swanson adds to it. He crushes this one to deep left center field. It is gone. Solo shot, 3-0 Cubs. In the 7th, Christopher Morel with the base hit. That is going to bring in another run for the Cubbies. They take a 4-0 lead. We go to the 9th. Brewers down to their final out, and the strikeout does it. The Cubs win it 5-0, and they take the series from the Brewers. The Wisconsin Wendigo were at it in Alaska on Saturday night as they played Game 2 of their playoff series against the Anchorage Wolverines. For the second game in a row, the Wendigo fell to the Wolverines. After dropping Game 1, they would drop Game 2 by a final score of 6-3. The win gives the Wolverines a 2-0 lead in the series. The Wendigo will face elimination this coming Friday when they return to Eagle River for Game 3. We'll be right back after the break.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can capture all the moments that make summer, summer. Like driving a RAV4 to wade in a waterfall.
Nice.
Cruising to play mini golf in a Camry. Or taking a Tundra to the beach.
You're not going to leave me here, are you?
Right now, get a new 2024 Tundra with 1.99% APR for 60 months, plus $1,000 cash back. See your local Toyota dealer today.
Your summer starts here.
Toyota, let's go places.
Ugh, when is my allergies freaking if you can?
You need Astapro.
Astapro?
It's faster, bro. 8 times faster than Flonase. It's faster, bro.
It's faster, bro. It's faster, bro.
It's mom to you.
Astapro starts working in 30 minutes. Astapro and go.
Hi, I'm Brian from Creative Granite. When I need the forecast from Minocqua, I go to WJFW.com for my hometown forecast.
Your hometown weather, available 24/7 at WJFW.com.
I love your dress.
Oh, thanks. I splurged a little because Liberty Mutual customized my car insurance and I saved hundreds.
That's great.
I know, right? I've been telling everyone. Liberty. Did you hear that? So I just said her first word. Can you say mama? Liberty.
Can you say auntie?
Liberty.
How many people did you tell?
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, liberty, liberty.
Liberty.
What would you do? How far would you go? To get to Schindelholtz Dental.
Last year, our daughter blessed our family with this cute little nugget. We're supposed to leave our next generation better off, but because Washington politicians have spent our money recklessly, he starts out owing hundreds of $1,000s of debt. It's wrong. The spending needs to stop. Unlike career politicians who drive us deeper into debt, I'll fight for him and for your children to have a better future. I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
Enjoy packaged to-go beer and fresh-off-the-tap beers, all at affordable prices at the Rhinelander Brewing Company, Brown Street, downtown Rhinelander.
We end tonight with a zebra's nearly week-long time on the run in Washington that has come to an end. The mayor was out one of 4 zebras that had escaped from a trailer off of Interstate 90 near North Bend last Sunday. The other 3 were captured within a few hours, but the 4th zebra, named Shug, remained on the loose. Officials say Shug was finally found Friday evening in Riverbend, which is about 30 miles from Seattle, Washington. The zebra appeared to be in good condition and will be transported to Montana, which is where the zebras were headed before they made their great escape. Well, Conrad, that's nice. You know, zebra going to be making it back home.
It's like that song, you know, she's a runner, she's a track star.
Yeah, exactly.
She came back, though, so good stuff, good stuff. You know what else is coming back, folks? A little bit of rain, unfortunately, right? Get ready. This is going to happen by Tuesday, maybe even an isolated thunderstorm or 2. Lingering sprinkles, maybe a shower or 2 Wednesday into Thursday. In general, though, Tuesday is going to be that day with that heavier rain. Now, finally, warmer temperatures. Look at Canada. Southern parts of Canada back in the 50s and 60s. They just saw snow 3 days ago. So finally, back to spring-like weather tomorrow. A beautiful day outside. Enjoy the outdoors ahead of cooler temperatures and possibly some thunderstorms by Tuesday.
That'll do it for us on this Sunday night. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and have a great night.
At Len's Truck, we're all trucks all the time. Nobody has a better selection of used trucks. Ford, Chevy, Ram, GMC, over 800 of the best used trucks money can buy. Buy now and get the highest trade-in value ever at Len's. Go to lenstruck.com. That's lenstruck.com.
Len's Truck. Len's Truck. We got the trucks at Len's Truck.
Get an 11% rebate on everything. Now at Menards. May is Maytag month, and we're passing the savings on to you. Menards offers the lowest prices and the largest in-stock selection of Maytag appliances. They're built to last and include a 10-year limited parts warranty. Upgrade your home with quality Maytag appliances today. Save over $1,250 on this Maytag laundry pair after sale price and 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Here's to the goal-getters, the hard-working, tough-as-nails heavy hitters.
Here's to the ones that use their hands to bring life to our infrastructure, who make their mark with us, where strength, determination, and skill remain the standards of the American workforce. Here's to the never-quit attitude of those who dare to think big and build even bigger. Those who are part of something strong, something durable, something that lasts. Let's forge a future together. Let's build America.